Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to a rainy day here at Kubota Farm here in East Vineland, New Jersey. Working on finishing up this sugar beet contract. Let's see where we are at with it. We're 98%. So I would say at this point, I have let's see, I have a full trailer load that we need to take back and dump off at the sugar mill. We'll leave our Ropa back there to do its thing, our hired helper, and let's head on over to the sugar mill and dump this trailer full off. This should complete the sugar beet contract and then some. Now we could go ahead and we could complete the contract and just keep selling. We could sell this whole trailer load, which should complete the contract and give us a little bit more money in the bank. And then any sugar beets we have left over that are still being harvested right now, we could probably save for our pigs. And I'm thinking maybe that's just the way we'll go. Boy, I tell you what, you hit that dip in the road right there, and the front end of this tractor wants to scoot out from under you. That's for sure. It could probably use a bit of a front weight on it, if I'm being honest. So those of you with a keen eye have probably already noticed something. If we look at our Mr. Deutz Fahr here, he's green. Yep, I guess saving the game, quitting, and coming back into it. We had a tractor swap on us, and it went from our Black Warrior style paint job to the traditional Deutz green. So, there you go. That's actually happened to me before, and it's actually happened to me, if I recall, only on this particular tractor, or on a Deutz, when I've had it with the black paint scheme, and then it gets swapped out to the green. Alright, so we are at 98%. I think we should see not only the contract completed, but we should start seeing some money coming in here, if I'm not mistaken. Unless this actually does finish up the contract almost. There we go. So now we're getting some money in the bank. A couple thousand, $2,000-$3,000. Starting to rain pretty good here. It was it's been clear all morning, maybe a little overcast, but not bad. And I came back to the game to get a running start on our sugar beet contract, and then just before I started recording, the clouds opened up and the rain shower started. So still beautiful here though, isn't it, with the fall colors? Very, very nice. Hearing some of that thunder rolling in too. Kind of a late thunderstorm being November. I guess it's not completely unheard of. At least in my neck of the woods, we can occasionally get some late thunderstorms. In fact, if I remember right, there was a winter not that long ago where it was one of those odd winters, unseasonably warm, and I seem to remember a thunderstorm rolling through in December even, which just felt really odd. So hope everybody's having a good week, good start to your week. Tuesday here. Pumps and hoses. Yes, so I ended up purchasing that. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet, but I do plan on playing around with that, I think. Not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing with it yet. Off the top of my head, I'm kind of thinking about kind of wanted to do a kind of a centralized cow farm, get a dairy, maybe get some beef cattle going, and maybe if we can get a good flow, no pun intended, of slurry and manure, maybe that pumps and hoses might just come in handy. It might be kind of fun to play with. I've been watching some videos on that, and I've got to give the modders some serious credit. It does look really, really good. Really, really good. And I don't mean this. And oh, it looks like our Ropa, looks like our timing is pretty good. Looks like they are just finishing off the field. And I don't mean this in a sarcastic way, but for farming simulators, sometimes with some of these types of mods, they can be a little sketchy sometimes, the physics of them. And from what I have seen, this one looks really, really good. So I'm kind of excited about it. Oh, we need to go out in the rain and get over to our Ropa here. So is it still a thing? Will your equipment get cleaned in the rain? Is that still a thing in Farm Sim? I seem to remember that in previous versions. That if you had a dirty tractor, I think I may have parked too close. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we're getting the stretch, but I can lift that up just a little bit. We won't pay attention to that coming out the side of the trailer there. So yeah, I seem to remember that being a thing, that if you had dirty equipment, if you left it out in the rain, or if you drove it into water, like a pond or a stream or something, it would clean your equipment. Well, Ropa, you are done. You did a good job. I think you did a good job. We'll park you over here in the field. Your owner can come pick you up. And we now have 51%, what is it, 20,000? 20,500 liters of sugar beets. And it just dawned on me, storage of these bad boys. I think we have a multi-fruit silo. Right? I think our silo can handle storing. I'm kind of cutting through here. Not exactly playing it completely right, but trying to stay off fields as best I can. Not interfering with anybody else's stuff. I do think we have a multi-fruit silo, though. We could probably go ahead and... Oh, where am I at? Where is our farm? Our farm is over to the right. I always want to go down southwest there to the shop for some reason. I get that in my mind that that's our farm, but... I think we're heading in the correct direction. In fact, I think I went a little bit too far, but we'll make it work. So we could probably toss some sugar beets off to the pigs. Let's take a look at what we have for if we can get this stuff stored in our silo. Well, hello. Oh, hope that one's alive. Just laying out in the rain, I guess. Hey, why not? What do we have for right now? How are our animals set up here? So our pigs, they do need root crop. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just do that then. Why not? We might be adding onto our pig count anyway sooner than later, and might as well get the food in there to do it. They're gonna love this. Fresh out of the ground sugar beets. Can't complain about that. Oh, I can hear them snorting already. It should take it all, I think. Yeah, it did indeed. Outstanding. All right. Well, that'll take care of that. We can hop on out. The Deutz did us good. The Ropa did us good. Another contract down and dusted. Let's go ahead and collect on that then. 17,368. That brings us up to almost $340,000. Doing pretty well. What do we owe the bank? Oh, look at that. No loan. So we're doing a little bit better than I thought even. I like that no loan business. Okay. Well, good deal. Let's get out of the rain here real quick. No use standing out getting wet. Well, let's see what we have for contracts here. We still have time here in November to take care of some more stuff if we'd like. That $22,000, but it's another sugar beet contract on field 48, and then, I mean, it's identical in every way, shape, and form. And I love the money, but not really that interested in doing more sugar beets at the moment. Field 92 has cotton. We could hit that. Looks like, what is that? Guyana? Gianna? Hartman needs some help there. We'd have to rent out the equipment, $692, so we'd only end up somewhere in the $5,500 range for that. Field 92. Where is field 92? Right there, the big white cotton field right there. We could do that. I also know that we also can get some grass cutting done as well. We'd make more money doing this right here, getting this cut and getting it cut and wrapped and get some silage going on that. That's another option too, but we've done quite a bit of grass work recently too, haven't we? Let's see. Where's my contracts here? What else do we have? We've got a sunflower harvest and another cotton one, but that's pretty small. Maybe we should hit this cotton harvest. Can we? Is it going to let us do this in the rain though? I'm not sure it's going to let us do that. Field 92, so if we want to, we can. Figured out something new today, actually yesterday, and some of you are probably going to say, yeah, duh, but oh yeah, there's our cotton field. All right. I didn't know that if you were inside a vehicle, inside a tractor, and even if it's got attachments like a wagon and stuff, and if you use easy dev controls to teleport, it teleports the whole 9 yards. It teleports you and whatever you're inside of along with all the attachments. And I thought that was pretty neat. I'm like, man, that's a fast way for me to get things set up for recording, that's for sure. All right, so we have got a drop-off point. Gianna's going to drop off the cotton harvester. It looks like a tractor and, of course, a baler for us. We need to borrow the items. So let's go ahead and do that, and voila. Ooh, probably should have gotten that one a little bit further off the road. Whoopsie. Nothing to see here. Like that Landini. Did us well last time with our baler. Alright, Mr. Landini, we need to get this stuff off the road. Neighbors are not going to like this at all. Oh, I'm glad I didn't hit that post. Thought I was going to wrap myself around that post. Alright, let's get this thing off the road. Very good. Boy, it is really starting to come down. Look at this thing, man. I'll tell you what. Jeez. That's sweet looking. Nice, very, very nice. It's got a little beep beep. Yep, it's got the beep beep. So that's interesting. I need to check this thing out on YouTube. That's working, right? So that's working. What would you say, work mode? But why would you want it to be like, oh, maybe because of the height, I guess, huh? That's gotta be why, right? Because of the height. That's the only other reason I could think of why you'd want it to be unfolded like that. Maybe get in there and clean some stuff too. Look at the innards on that thing too, that big belt. Yeah, that thing's tall. Got the spinning fan down there. Oh, these things are fantastic to look at. Absolutely love it. All right, let's get a little headland action going. We'll turn on GPS eventually when we get started here. I know, I'm not on the right field. And let's get a couple of headlands started so we can make a little bit of room. And get this cotton harvest contract underway. We keep getting closer and closer to the Platinum Edition. I'm getting a little more excited about that. At first I was kind of, I mean, I've been excited about it, but I was kind of a little bit on the focus on the logging and the Pacific Northwest aspect. I don't know what I was really hoping for. That's the thing, you know. But the focus on logging, it wasn't a big surprise because when they announced Volvo, I think we all kind of knew that we were probably going to see some more stuff come out, you know, focused on large equipment, which of course in the game is logging, unless you are using like a Terraform mod where you're doing excavating and stuff. Oh shoot, I need to turn on. It'd be helpful if I turn the GPS on first. And our lines round, and our heading. Let's try 0. That is correct. Well enough lined up for me. I'll take it. Nope, don't stop. I want you to go. There we go. Let's see how we're doing here. Just out of curiosity, what is our yield? Another 64% yield. Okay, so not great. So we're not going to be cranking out bales of cotton here in a big hurry with that kind of rate, but certainly enough to complete the contract. Just checking out the inside of this. I don't spend a lot of time in these cotton harvesters. I don't do a lot of cotton. And if I do, it is usually on contract, I would say, for the most part. Got a nice little buddy seat there. I've heard the John Deeres have some of the better stereos. that camera up there. That's pretty sweet. All this monitoring equipment. And visibility is fantastic. I mean, you are sitting right, this is like a cab over truck. You are sitting right over the front end of this thing. So visibility looks to be really, really good. Pretty quiet too. Impressive. What kind of turning is this? Ah, nice turn too. Wow, yeah, I'll take that. These things are so expensive, it's unbelievable. But they are machines. They are a piece of technology and engineering. It's pretty amazing to me. What's that dealio right there? That's not an ashtray, is it? Wage payment, $405. So we must have just paid off our hired helper over there from the sugar beet contract. Oh, what is that, like a coat hook it looks like up there? Very nice. I think it's kind of funny when I watch some of the farmers on YouTube, they take their shoes off and leave them outside the door there before they come in, just to keep the inside a lot cleaner. I guess it kind of makes sense, right? You're out in the mud and everything, and these things would get pretty nasty pretty quick, I would think. And the the soft closing doors, I think they're called. I'm not sure. It's cool, but I'm not sure I kind of get like the why. Like, why did somebody say, hey, you know, at like a John Deere board meeting, somebody said, hey, you know, we've been talking to farmers and they would prefer that we make the fridge a little bit bigger. They don't want a cooler, they want a fridge. They want like a couple extra cup holders. They do like our stereo system, but they would like to have, you know, maybe the ability to have XM or whatever, maybe an extra couple USB connectors. Oh, and by the way, they've been after us to get those soft closing doors, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm just not sure how that came about being a thing, you know, but they're cool. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but if you watch that Canadian farmer, boy, can't remember the channel name, but his name's Mike, I think. He talked about it one day, and basically you're just, you know, you close the door, but you don't close the door. You just kind of touch close the door, and then you hear this mechanical zoop, and it just latches the door closed. And yeah, neat. You know, it seems like stuff like that though, and I will almost guarantee I'll guarantee that there are some old school farmers out there that look at stuff like that and say, that's just something else that can break. You know, make these things simple and basic. Don't put a bunch of stuff on there that, you know, that can break, that I gotta fix. And I think there's some legitimacy to that. I'm old enough to where I've had cars, where I've owned cars that weren't, let's just say that were just a lot more basic, even carbureted, you know, just basic carbureted engines, not a lot of fancy electronics, and yeah, there was less to break. That's the truth. But they were also a lot less comfortable. They were less safe. To some degree, and I know people will argue about this, but to some degree less dependable. But when they did break, they were easier to fix and less complicated to fix, and you didn't need a laptop and a what's that OB something sensor thing, you know, you didn't need all that stuff. You could just go in and you could grab a piece of tree bark and shove it into the exhaust manifold and you were good to go, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know, but advancements happen, and I definitely don't begrudge farmers for wanting to be comfortable, absolutely at all. I mean, just the amount of time that they are out there in the field in the blazing sun. I can't imagine how uncomfortable it used to be for a lot of farmers, and even without just not even having a canopy top, but just an open cab, old school tractor with the dirt and dust flying around on 100-degree humid days. You know, that's why they say rednecks, right? I mean, that's where you get a redneck, I'll tell you that. It's probably where you get heat stroke too. I mean, no coolers. They didn't reach over and go into their igloo and pull out a bottle of Fiji water. That stuff cracks me up. I don't know. It makes me laugh when I think about just how different things are. Have we become soft? As a human race, have we become soft? I don't know. I like it. I like it this way better. I mean, I can say the good old days, but I can tell you that there's a lot of things about today that I do like better. And this is one of them. This is absolutely one of them. Because I'll tell you, if I was recording YouTube videos playing Pong, I don't think you all would stick around very long. That's for sure. So games like this, I would have loved to have 30 years ago. It would have been so much fun. That's why I think time travel would be amazing. Just for this alone, that you could go back in time with a gaming laptop and a modern cell phone. And between those two things, now of course, you know, you wouldn't have the internet that we have today. So you'd have to have offline play and stuff like that for sure. But let's just say, you know, you had it ready to go and went back in time and you could show people, you know, 30 years ago. 30 years ago was only 1990. Wow. Oh, I don't like talking about this. I don't like talking about this. I'm getting old. So yeah, let's say 1980. Let's say 40 years ago. People would have just been like amazed by I think I would have been just absolutely amazed by this. The bad part is I would have wanted that stuff so bad. Maybe I don't know, you know, because you don't know the full potential of it back then. You don't know how much you're missing, you know. And the way technology and what's that law that I should know this too because it's my occupation, but there's that law that says, not like a break in the law, but a technical law that says that technology doubles. Is it every year? Something like that? And just how far we've come over the years. Really amazing. I mean, even if you were born in the year 2000, there's still so much that is advanced even since then. I mean, we're sending rockets in the air and landing them back down on a platform. I mean, that's stuff that you saw in like really bad 1960s sci-fi, you know. But it's happening now, and it's pretty cool. Oh, goodness. Anyways, I think that is going to take care of this edition of Kubota Farm. I honestly am not entirely sure how long this episode has been so far, but I'm pretty sure we are past due. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. Thanks for watching another episode with me. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, hopefully, back on Buchern, where we're also working on contracts to pass the winter months. And this one actually should be able to be knocked out pretty quick. I'll probably continue this a little bit, and that way when we see each other, we'll pretty much get, we'll be pretty close to wrapping up this cotton contract, and we can move on from there. But thank you all so much for joining me. You all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you real soon.